Hey, what's up, you guys? My name is Josh. Welcome back to another toy review, and today we're here to take a look at the Ultra Monster 500 series number 84, Gyeron, or Gyeron, Starbem Gyeron. Look, guys, I'm sorry. This is one of those weird kaijus that got like one of those weird alternative funny names, so please forgive me. But finally, without further ado, man, I'm it's been a long time, hasn't it? Actually, you know what? How long has it been since I've done a toy review? Hold up. Okay, let's see. Alrighty. Okay, remember this? Okay. Oh, 1 month ago. Holy shit. Uh, yeah, that's pretty awful. I'm so sorry. Anyway, all right, so at least we're back up to schedule. So let's just kind of go over the usual info. Of course, I'm gonna kind of tell you guys who this is. So basically, he's a creature that first appeared in the show Ultra 7, and he first appeared in episode 26, Super Weapon R1. And I remember barely anything about the episode except for the creature itself, because this is definitely one of those weird and bizarre kaijus out there. I mean, honestly, if you watch the fight scene between him and Ultra 7, I can't tell if I should be shocked or just laugh, honestly. I mean, the fight scenes was just so goofy. And in case you're wondering, does he really kind of fly in this little position? Yes and no. It's so hard to explain. Like, honestly, I can't really, I can't describe it. I don't really know what to say. I mean, it's like he's like kind of like half flesh, but also half metal in the show. When Ultra 7 was fighting him, and then he threw like the slugger at him, it was like, psh, and then psh, he kept dodging that shit. He kept like hitting it and shit. That was the most funniest thing. And he even dies goofy too. He Ultra 7 literally rips his arm off, and there's no blood. It's just feathers. And I'm like, bro, I don't think it works like that. Okay, face the camera. All right, so let's go over his little tag. So of course, the usual for most of these Bandai figures, they always come in these little tags right here. Comes a little attached to it. They don't come in boxes or anything. Nothing inside the tag except for random numbers, words that I don't know because I don't know Japanese. And of course, you can see he's number 84. Even though he first appeared in the third entry of the Ultra series, but it is what it is. That's because, of course, this character would make multiple appearances. This picture right here is taken straight from Ultraman Geed, or Geed. And I remember in that episode, it was so weird. Ultraman Geed basically tried to, like, beat his ass, but for some odd reason, every time he kills him, he keeps coming back. It's such an interesting episode. Honestly, I remember Gyeron more in that episode than I do with Ultra 7, but obviously when it comes to old school Ultraman shows, they always just pretty much kill the monsters off. Sometimes they might come back, they might not, but then pretty much later on in the Ultra series, they kind of give that idea that there's, like, always like a whole species of these creatures. So for an example, like Gamora and Red King, of course, we all know that there's a whole species of those guys, so we know that they're bound to come back no matter what. So without further ado, let's go over the figure itself. So the painting and sculpting of this figure is... So anyway, the painting and figure of this... sorry. It's pretty much the way he looks. Looks pretty good, I mean, he looks pretty much identical of how he appeared in the show. I can't really think of any sort of mistakes that they might have made with this figure. I guess if you want to point out one thing, you can see like on his arm where he got like that kind of gold paint going on. I like the way it looks too. It kind of looks like they did like a weird spray. I don't know if that's exactly how it goes, but that's what it kind of seems like to me. And if I could just kind of focus on the camera a little bit more. Come on, camera, don't fight with me today. There we go. Yeah, look at that. And it looks real nice. I love that kind of little paint detail going on. Unfortunately, yeah, you don't really get that on the back. As you could kind of see, he doesn't really have that. Of course, he kind of got that ugly little seam going on. That's because it's one of those weird figures where he doesn't really have a waist. It's more like he came in two pieces in the factory and they just kind of super glued them, which, I mean, it is what it is, I guess. At least the sculpting is fine. It looks like the character. It's not like there's something off about it. As for the sizing, obviously, that's kind of the only downside with most of these figures is that a lot of the time the sizing does not match up with the heroes at all because they're supposed to be ginormous creatures, but definitely for sure, just by looking at them, you can very obviously tell he's more on the smaller side, and I guess, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, he's pretty broad for the most part. You could just see how much like space he kind of takes up with those long ass arms of his. But you know, that's not necessarily a bad thing or anything. That's just how he is. I do like the yellow on the beak though. I like how do I say this? I like how you could kind of like see the different correlations of paint going on. You got that gold. You got that kind of sort of like brighter gold up there, and then on his beak, on his nails, and even on his toenails, they're kind of the same sort of weird orange, or I mean yellowish kind of color. I mean, honestly, I don't know. What do you really call that? Mustard yellow? Because that's what it kind of looks like to me. And then of course you got this sort of like very dark green color, and I do like the scales honestly on his chest piece right here. Look at those thick ass thighs. My God, that's something, you know. I mean, I have to say this because this is so true. The only downside with him being so dummy thick is that he's like the most flabbiest creature possible because even in the show when he was fighting Ultra 7, you know, these are suits, these are guys in costumes, so of course it's going to look so funny and goofy. I mean, it's like it looks so fake, guys. It was like, wow. That's why I can't really differentiate between like if I'm supposed to laugh or be like, you know, interested into the action. But I mean, you know, I can't really complain. That was the '60s, all right. I can't really. It's hard to really complain. Definitely nowadays, they definitely up their guard when it comes to like these creatures in these suits and whatever. So can't really complain. And like I say, I remember him more from like Ultraman Gi than anything else because for a while that was one of my most favorite Ultraman shows. So without further ado, articulation barely has anything. I mean, come on, he can move his arms full 360, so that's pretty cool. That's about it, though. That's all the movement you're gonna get with this fella. I mean, well, what can you do? What kind of action poses can you do? Look at that. Why? What are you gonna do with this? For real. Can you imagine if you're looking like those toy magazines and imagine seeing this exact same figure and then he's like posed like this? That would be super hilarious but kind of sad. I mean, he does look cool like this, I guess. Sort of menacing, I guess. I don't know. I'm pretty much guessing everything with this guy because nothing about him makes sense. I mean, for real. I can only imagine him just kind of flying like that. You know, I mean, he is a bird, but you know, what kind of bird is he supposed to be? To be honest, not really quite sure. But yeah, 2 points of articulation. Yeah, that might suck for some people. I mean, what else are you gonna do? Give him articulation in his feet? You know. So I'm not gonna take points off of that. But obviously, like I said, the sizing is not that good. He is kind of on the smaller side. So as you can see, Ultra 7 right here. And you know what? Honestly, I want to just reenact that scene where he tears his arms off. He was literally like, and he's like bleeding feathers all over, and then he's like swinging his arm around, kind of hits him with it, and you could just see Gyeron like on the floor in the fields, and he's like dying, and I'm like, damn, Ultra 7, that's pretty brutal. Mind you, Ultra 7 isn't even one of the more darker interpretations of Ultraman. We still got like Ultraman Leo and shit that's like way, way dark. Maybe not as dark as Ultraman Nexus, but you guys get the idea. So yeah, sizing wise, but I'll give it a pass because, like I say, I cannot imagine this guy being super tall. I mean, he's okay the way he is, you know. Also, one last thing I forgot to add on real quick is his face. Got that nice little menacing kind of stare going on. But in the show, he was like legit cross-eyed. And I can't help but mention that because other characters like Tesla Don, you know, for some odd reason, they kind of kept that detail. So as you can see right here, I guess with him, he's always been got that goofy look. So, okay. Sorry, I'm just getting the other figures for the comparison. Ooh, okay, now I'm dropping shit. So here, you know, get out of here. There we go. Here is compared with Geed, or Geed, or however you say it. I don't know. Because I swear in the show they pronounce it as Geed, but then I know with like the English dub they kind of say Geed. So I don't know. I guess here's a quick little look at him, you know, before I review him because it's gonna be a while since I reviewed this guy. So I might as well show you how he looks. Yeah. All right. And yeah, that's about it. All right. So I guess my final score, I can't really complain for what the character is exactly. He's still very interesting, and I'm so happy to have him in the collection. And you know, classic kaiju's always fantastic to have in your collection. So thank you very much, Bandai. So you know what? Screw it. 10 out of 10. I like this guy. Paint job, pretty good. Size, articulation, but you know what? It shouldn't really hurt too much from the character. I think it's fine for what it is because, like I say, there isn't really much you could do with them. I mean, obviously, you gotta think of like the creative process behind the design of the character. It's both intriguing and interesting, but at the same time, really dumb. But you know what? I could kind of understand it for the time being. It's not bad at all. So I highly recommend it, especially if you're into like the more old school Ultraman figures for sure. Don't get me wrong, this toy line is so revolutionary for when it comes to their figures. I love how we're still getting both some classics and some new ones, especially with Ultraman Blazar coming out. So yeah, that's great. You know, so hopefully I'll get right back on the toy reviews because I am way behind. You know, thank you guys very much for tuning in. I hope you guys liked the video. You know, especially for all you Ultraman fans out there. You know, I love doing this. So without, you know, yeah, keep up the grind. So until then, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.